Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Thursday, and today's guests, all of our guests, including John Shannon, standing by, are brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Enjoy no-hassle 3-day returns and 30-day exchanges on all used vehicles, so you can make sure what you get is just right for you. Don't just love your car. Don't just love your car. And Rick, I know you love yours. Oh, literally. Love buying it at langleychrysler.com. As we bring in NHL analyst and co-host of the Bob McCown podcast, John Shannon. How are you, sir?
I am doing great, boys. You?
Very well, very well. I'm pretty sure that you worked with Don Cherry and Ron MacLean. Just before we get to the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, John. Don Cherry says he and Ron MacLean's will never be friends again. Is there a level of disappointment for you, knowing both gentlemen?
No, not really. I know them well enough that both of them really are strong of their convictions, and it didn't surprise me at all when that story came out that Don would forgive but never forget. That is just the way that Don has always lived his life. And by the way, I think Ron's very similar, so I it does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, there are those of us that are friends of both of them and still talk to both of them. So it's okay. Yeah. Life goes on, right?
From what you know, John, is Don doing well?
Yeah, I think he's doing fine.
He's got his podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, and he might get mad at me for saying this, but I think he is enjoying life again now. I think that the pressure that he put on himself for all those years of trying to create 7 or 8, or never had enough time, 10 minutes of content every week, I think it took a toll on him. And quite frankly, I think he's realized that there's life outside of Hockey Night in Canada, as most of us do learn.
Yeah. Oilers lose to the Flames 9-6. Flames blowing a couple of 4-goal leads. Did you enjoy watching that display last night?
I liked it. I like goals. It didn't surprise me that the Oilers were able to come back and make it 6-6. But quite frankly, it was pretty evident getting there was, both physically and emotionally draining for them. And so when Rasmus Andersson scored the 7-6 goal, you wondered if the Oilers had anything in the tank. And quite frankly, they had nothing left. So it didn't surprise me in the end that the Flames won the game, and I fully suspect that we'll see a much different game in Game 2, probably that 4-3 or 3-2 game that both coaches would be happy with.
Coach of the Year, Jack Adams, out today. John, Sutter, Gallant, and Brunette. Any surprises or anybody missed on that list?
A lot. I think Mike Sullivan did an amazing job in Pittsburgh. I think that when you look at what that team went through between some COVID issues early in the season and injuries, I think Mike Sullivan should always be on a ballot at some point. That's not to demean anything that that Andrew and Daryl did, and Gerard. I mean, all three of them are deserving to be on that list. I think Mike Sullivan should have been on the list. I think Rod Brind'Amour. And I think what happens too, guys, is Brind'Amour won the award last year. So, when you look at the success of the Carolina Hurricanes again this year, did he do a lesser job this year than last? And the answer is no, he didn't. So I think what happens with all these awards, and this is one that's voted on by the broadcasters, I think people say, well, we have to spread it out. We have to do it. I don't buy that. I actually think the whole award system in the NHL needs to be revisited. I think that in the last 5 years, and particularly the last 3 years when there's a lot less travel, I think the NHL should look at trying to find a way to level the playing field of all of the awards, because what's happening is that the bigger markets with more members of the PHWA are getting much more influence. Like there's no way that Johnny Gaudreau should have been ignored for the Hart Trophy.
Yep.
He should be one of the nominees. And, and there are other guys. Jonathan Huberdeau should have been on that. But those are two small markets. And Igor Shesterkin played 53 games. I don't buy it that a goaltender at 53 games should be the Hart Trophy nominee. I just don't buy it. I'm sorry.
John, first time we're going to talk to you since Bruce Boudreau announced he's coming back. Is this the way you've been saying it was going to play out this way? But now they got to get together and get ready for next year. But it was a good move on both sides for you?
Well, I think it's a win-win, and I think it's a great PR move for the hockey club. And I think Bruce, in the end, just wanted to get it over with. I think it was driving him nuts to what's going on, and all of us were either pestering him or making light of the June 1st deadline.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, when he realized, holy smokes, that's a pretty good job. There's only 32 of them. I don't have to go through another interview process to get a job, and there's no guarantee I'm going to get a job. Why not the Vancouver Canucks? So I think it's a win for the team. I think it's a win for Bruce, and I think it's a win for the fans.
John, back to television for a second. Your area of expertise among so many others. Over 2 million people watched Game 7 between the Rangers and Penguins in the States over the weekend. The highest number down there other than a game in a Stanley Cup final. What do you make of that number and those numbers? Because there were other impressive numbers as well when it comes to the first round in the States.
Yeah, here's the thing with all this. To be on ESPN is really, really important. And it's not for the games. A great example, last night on ESPN's version of SportsCenter, after the Calgary-Edmonton game, they spent 15 minutes talking about hockey.
Yeah.
That ability to spread the information beyond the games, and it's a tough word to use, but to legitimize the NHL on the worldwide leader away from the games is so important for the growth of the game. And this in so many ways, where the NHL still is a super regional sport in the United States, super regional. But to put it on ESPN and to introduce it to lots of non-hockey markets is really important. And I know it's 2022, and there are those of us that think, well, that should have happened years ago. It's a good thing it's happening now. It really is a good thing that's happening now. So I think that the commissioner and the deputy commissioner and the people that put this deal together on both sides should be pretty happy in the short term that they're getting some positive results. And I think Turner in the same boat. When you can sit and talk about the NBA on one night and hockey on the next, that's a really good thing for non-traditional hockey markets. And that's what they're trying to grab.
Yeah, and having Charles Barkley so much on board with his buddies there means a lot. And, John, I thought NBC did a great job the last decade, but ESPN, sports-wise, is another level.
NBC did a marvelous job. In fact, I would tell you that the NBC built the blueprint that both ESPN and Turner are trying to work with now. It was just time. NBC was not prepared to spend the money that particularly with all the rights they're having to buy elsewhere, including Olympics and including the NFL, that they didn't want to spend the money at that level. So from that perspective, it was a really good move at the right time, and the networks are doing a good job in promoting it.
I think Boudreau's giving you a call there, John. Thanks for this. Appreciate it.
It never stops here, but you know what? If those vent guys and those guys that are trying to clean my house every time, if they keep calling.
Hey, John, you know who it is? It's the Penticton V saying, give us a plug. Yes. Give us a plug.
Hey, go, V's, go.
Yeah.
Go, V's, go. Come on. They won again last night, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
They won.
It's over. They swept Donnie's Nanaimo Clippers.
Okay. Guys, sometimes in the heart of the Okanagan, I heard Brian from Asuyas was on earlier. That's good. I mean, sometimes in the heart of the Okanagan, Some pretty good hockey guys. Forget about the kids in the lower mainland that Grant's talking about. Okay?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Hey, I cannot believe, I'm going to give Drance a shot. I cannot believe we're already talking about Connor Bedard. We haven't got through this draft
Exactly.
yet.
You know,
Dollywall sent him down that path.
That's Drance. He's a nut bar. You know it, John. He's a nut
And
bar.
by the way, the Canucks will have a second-round pick, in my opinion, before the draft occurs in Montreal.
Oh, well, let us in on what do you know?
No. I mean, you know what Jimmy's going to do. Something's going to happen before the draft.
We're waiting
And
for
he's gonna
something
say,
dramatic. Yeah.
So you're saying the Canucks are going to work hard to make a trade to get a second rounder?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
sure.
Yeah.
They need
would too.
more draft
Yeah,
picks.
absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
they didn't have a first last year. They didn't have a first the year before. In 2020, their first pick was in the third round. Enough of this trading the first
Well,
second
you're
rounders.
going down Thomas
Just
Drance
not.
territory now.
John's got me fired up. He's bang on. They need to get that second.
Thanks,
Jimmy will
John.
get a Jimmy and Patrick will get a second. Don't worry.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
All right.
Cheers.